It's an English wheel. Now it's a bead roller. It's an English wheel. Now it's a bead roller. This is the English wheel portion of it. It's got the standard flat 3 by 8 inch wheel on the top and a standard anvil on the bottom. What makes this a little bit different is the release mechanism is on the top of the gantry there. I'll show you how that works in a second. With the release mechanism up here, I have a lock built into it, so when I lift the wheel up, it'll lock and won't drop down on your fingers. You just lift it up a little bit and release it. It comes down, your lock goes over into a lock position there, and works just fine. Show you with a piece of steel here. It does not take a lot of pressure whatsoever to bend the steel, or stretch the steel, I should say. As you can see, it did that bending right there, or stretching. You got standard foot down here where you can change the pressure on it. What we have here is a urethane wheel, or it's a caster wheel actually, but it's got a urethane coating on it. Still using a standard anvil from an English wheel. The difference is this will bend the metal a lot quicker rather than stretching it. Put it in a flat place here. As you can see, it bends it real easy. Leaves a nice and smooth finish on it compared to slowly stretching it here. There's another function that's kind of unique. It's not something I invented, I just saw somebody else did it. There's a slot in the bottom of this yoke, and you can move this back and forth. It works both with the English wheel or with the bead roller. So you can adjust your where your bottom anvil or your bottom die is in the bead roller. You get this set up as the bead roller. You change this portion of it here, and the shaft is added onto it. I've changed this because this is a little taller, so I can get bigger dies in here if I want to. With this style bead roller, you generally have a small one on the top and a large one on the bottom. This again, the bolt here, and you can move this die back and forth to align it, and it's in lock position. Has a foot switch to drive the motor, and switch up here to reverse it. Goes in the other direction. Now, like I say, the main reason this is different and has more flexibility is the fact that if you have a piece of metal that sticks over here and droops down, you'll be able to run a bead on it. The other one, the shaft would be right here with the two rollers, two dies, and your piece of metal would have to be absolutely straight or flat, or if you wanted to go around the edge of it, you could, but it could not extend in here if it was not flat. So basically, you just open it up, put the piece of metal into it, clamp it down, step on the pedal, and run a bead on it. Of course, I'd have to change this bead to one that is a U-shape and has the right raised portion here if I wanted to run the bead on the other side. But just lift it off, you put your metal in, bring it back down, and it physically will dent the piece of metal because it has enough pressure with this lever, and it, like I say, it locks in place there. Here's another option that I put on it, which is if I want to use a table, a work table on it, I have these two add-on table supports, one on either side of the center die, and I'll put that on in a minute and show you how that works. In one of my other videos showing a different type of bead roller, I had a embossing dies, and there were some questions as to whether I was using a step die or not. But as you can see, these are two very narrow dies, and they come very close to each other when you bring it down, and it depends on how you adjust it here, whether how much clearance you have or how much slope you're going to have on the embossing, and then how deep you're going to go with this is adjusted down the bottom with the kick wheel. So I'll put the tabletop on it here and show. Alright, I have it set up with the embossing dies and the tabletop on here, and basically just the die sticks up through the bottom of the table just above it, and that helps your piece of metal stay relatively flat. And what you would do is come in here and start it wherever you wanted it, push it down, step on the pedal, and then you stop. And when you want to and you turn your piece of metal around so you're coming in from the other direction, and come down and find out where you want to start the other side, clamp it down, and I don't know whether you can see that, but you have a depressed area here, a raised area here, and another depressed area here. So if you made a flame, that's what it would look like. I don't know if you can see that with the camera, but there's probably about 1/8 of an inch difference between each side of it. Of course, you'd have to be a little more decorative than that, but that's basically how it works.